Hey everybody, if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell button so you get notified whenever we release new videos.
You guys are awesome.
You know what's fun, Ryan?
What's that, Charity?
Listening to other people talk about how they've messed up.
That is fun.
Here's 5 parenting mistakes we've made.
Wait, us? Number 1.
We once took our girls to the zoo when they were little, before we had the boys. The girls were around 2-ish and 4-ish. It was one of those long days at the zoo, and it was summer and it was hot. At the end of the day, we walked all the way to our car. We got them in their seats. We got the stroller put away. I don't know how buckled they were, but they were at least in their seats when they told us they needed to go potty. And I was tired and hot and probably hungry because Ryan refuses to buy zoo food.
We can buy zoo food. We just can't eat anywhere else that month.
So I yelled at our sweet little girls, "You are terrible, awful children!"
And I looked at her, then I was like, whoa, that's a path we're walking down?
For reference, here's a picture of what our girls looked like at this stage of their lives, in which I yelled, "You are terrible, awful children."
In all fairness, we did ask if they needed to use the bathroom before we left the zoo. I'm pretty sure, and if I'm not, that's funny. If I'm wrong.
Let's say that because it makes me look better. Mistake number 2.
Not too long ago, our youngest child, Remy, was home with me and everybody else was at school and Charity was gone. And we were playing like tag. I was trying to get him. I can't remember exactly what was happening. I think I was chasing him. I was trying to tackle him or something. And he was running from me. We were having fun. And at one point he went around the corner and he lost sight of me for a second. I was in his blind spot and I juked and then went the other way and disappeared around a different corner. So I went around this other corner and hid in this closet, waiting for him to come around so I could surprise him and attack him. All he knew at that moment was that I had disappeared because he came around and was like, "Wait, where'd Dad go?" It was flawless. It was ninja-like. And I mean, I have skills. I was gone in his mind. And he goes, "Dad? Dad?" And I was just waiting. I was like, yes, this is so good. He can't find me. And I hear, "Dad?" And I knew, I could tell in his voice, he's like, he's not sure where I went. And there's a threshold that once he crosses it, he's gonna start getting scared. And then I heard him go, "Dad?" And I'm like, ooh, I think we're getting close. And his next one was, "Dad?" And I was like, oh shoot. I think the previous dad was the threshold. Now it's too late. And then I heard, "Dad?" And he started crying and I came around the corner. 2 dads too late. And he's like bawling. I'm like, buddy, I'm right here. I didn't leave. And I could just see in his eyes, he thought I was like gone. Like somehow I had stepped through some portal and had disappeared from the planet. And he was all alone in this world. And I felt terrible. Number 3.
We get tired after Halloween of answering the question, "Can I have a piece of candy?" It's exhausting. So we decided to try something new one year and we said, okay, you can have 10 pieces of candy today. We're putting it in a jar and you get to have that candy whenever you want. You don't have to ask, but it's all you get for the day. So once it's gone, it's gone. So we tried that tactic and what happened, Ryan?
They spent a long time crafting their playlist of candy, if you will. They were like, ooh, I should start with this one, this one. They put it all in the jar. And then I said, all right, let's do this for the day. And they all reached in and grabbed all 10 pieces and ate them all as fast as they could. So what happened next was a sugar high and a sugar crash. The sugar high was, let's go down to the basement, take off all the cushions of the couch, all the pillows, put them on the floor and jump around like maniacs. They did that. The sugar crash came when I said, all right guys, we need to put all this stuff back.
Because Grandma's coming over.
Because Grandma's coming over in a few minutes and this room is a wreck. And that's when it all fell apart. Here's a video to show you.
All right. Let's get this room cleaned, okay?
Do you notice how my daughter was wiping her tears on the leg of that table? That's how far gone they were.
Turns out preschoolers need a little bit more help regulating their sugar intake. They weren't quite ready for that step.
Our mistake was trusting them. Number 4.
Just this morning, I was having a heart-to-heart conversation with our 12-year-old about social media and how we want to use it and if we want her to use it and what accounts she can have and what she can't have, and trying to explain to her the safety and the boundaries of it. And I ended up literally saying to her, I just don't really understand how TikTok works.
And you aged 30 years in her eyes.
And all my relevance flew out the window. And the conversation was over. She was laughing too hard.
I mean, yeah, at that point, after you say something like that, you might as well just leave the room.
Number 5.
One time when Roman was 2 years old, and we were making dinner, and I was cleaning up the island while we were kind of getting dinner ready, he grabbed a cup of water and held it over his head. I had a pen in my hand, and I was yelling at him to stop, and he wasn't gonna stop. He's like, I'm exploring this avenue with all my heart. Because all I saw was him pouring that water all over himself, getting it all over the floors, and me having to clean it up. And I didn't want to do that. So all instinct just took over, and I threw the pen at his head, and I have never thrown anything more accurate in my life. It bounced right off his temple. Bing, right off his head. And startled, he goes, ah, and just dumped the water all over himself, all over the floor anyway.
You just wanted his attention.
I wanted him to stop, and I was too far away to do anything about it, except throw a pen at his head. I don't think it hurt him as much as it surprised him.
Did he know you did it?
I assume he knew. I think I was yelling at him like, Roman, stop. Don't dump that on your head. Roman. It's like a ninja star.
He doesn't remember it. Did you apologize?
I did apologize. We're good now. We're good. Me and him are good.
Raise your hand if you've ever winged a pin at a kid's head to get him to stop doing something. Raise your hand if it was the most accurate you've ever thrown.
So those are the 5 mistakes that we've made as parents. Only those 5.
Wrong. That is the 5 we chose out of a number greater than 5.
And now we're off to go make some more.